Northeast Texas Sports Network and Azalea Orthopedics present Northeast Texas Football, the 2023 season. Evans' three-point shot. It's good. The following is a production of the Rough Rider broadcast team, a presentation of Watlington and Shires Productions.
Welcome, everybody, to the pizzeria. It's the Rick Meeks Show, and we are at 8 o'clock.
Yes.
30 minutes later than we would normally be doing. This is our first one, and, you know, it's dark early, and football season is over. We're transitioning to basketball, so most days will be pizzeria, 7:30 right here with Rick Meeks and others, brought to you by Sabine State Bank, as always. Thanks for being with us.
It's the Rick Meeks Show with Hiram Harrison.
With Hiram Harrison.
It's kind of like Dan Le Batard with Stu Gotts.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
But look, here's the thing. This is a new show. It's a new phase because Rick Meeks, he goes from being the hunted to one of the hunters now.
I'm not hunting my coaches.
Yeah, because, look, I learned something the other day.
What's that?
I went and looked and did some research. And just a little known fact that Coach Meeks was the editor of his high school newspaper.
No.
So,
I didn't know that.
Gosh almighty, you dug way back.
wait, is that really true?
Holy cow. You
What was
know?
the name of that paper?
The Mount Vernon Optic Herald.
The Optic Herald, edited by Rick Meeks.
Yeah. So,
Purple Tigers.
so is that true? So I was lying. Oh, see, he's good. That's why this guy's the good. He just picked it right up, baby.
He didn't do it. I completely fell for it.
Yeah. But anyway, I was going to talk about his journalistic chops and his ability to ask
Hard-hitting
questions.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's got that ability. I mean, he's the editor of the paper. Well, anyway.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Well, anyway, we have lots to talk about, way more than we can talk about in one show, and that's what's exciting. We're going to just kind of set the table, and over the next weeks and months, we'll talk more about the program going on beyond just high school football. Because, Coach, it's basketball, and then help me fill in the blanks. What else is going on, and start getting started?
Soccer. Soccer's about to start rolling. When we come back from Christmas, then you got softball, then baseball, spring tennis, golf, track and field. It's going to load up pretty quick.
Yeah.
And that's high school and junior high.
Yeah.
Mixed in there. So.
I remember as a teacher, about the only quiet month was December because basketball was starting.
Right.
And then everything else was like on your mark.
That's correct.
By the time we get 2 weeks into January, everybody will be running
They're
in
rocking
17
and
different directions.
That's it. Yes, sir.
So now's the time we quietly, at our Yuletide time, where we set the table for all that and get some expectations, and we can talk a little deeper about some of the things. We're not having to talk about a lot of games, particularly and specifically, but programs and what they mean and how we build those, and all of those things are coming. But the big star of tonight is Hiram Harrison. When we come back, we will have him here at the table. We're talking a little bit of Rough Rider basketball, and that's already happening. So we have specifics to talk about there. Glad you're with us here at the Rick Meeks Show with Hiram Harrison, live from the Pizzeria, brought to you by Sabine State Bank. We'll be right back.
At Sabine State Bank, you have a lot of things going for you. It's a small office, so so many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the Pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the Pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the Pizzeria just off the square in Center. And Brookshire Brothers, they sold their first bag of
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Rick Meeks Show with Hiram Harrison. Of course, it wouldn't be the Rick Meeks Show with Hiram Harrison if we didn't have Coach Hiram Harrison here. So have him in the hot
Who's
seat.
that again? Hiram Harrison?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay.
So Coach Harrison's been the basketball coach here for since I've been doing the
17 years,
yeah,
I believe,
yeah.
18 somewhere. I thought it was 20, but my wife reminded me it's only been 18.
Did this guy ever try to play for you, Coach?
No, I was a little bit before his
Okay,
time.
okay. I was just curious. I didn't.
But what's interesting to note is, of course, we did Rough Rider football through the radio Chris and Rob have done it for 30 years, and I've done it for half of that. But it's really Coach Harrison and the basketball program that brought in the creation that birthed the Walton Shires Productions, because it was we had a team that was going to be really good for a few years. And we weren't getting on broadcast. And Chris and I just said, that's no good. We got to do it. So we went and bought the time at the radio station and started broadcasting the games. And so it all started, the broadcast empire that this has grown in. It started with
Coach
Harrison and basketball.
That's awesome.
Well, I don't know about all that. I'm glad it did to start. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. So let's just talk, Coach. Well, first off, what is your win total now as the head coach? What is that number? It's like a huge number.
I think my wife looked it up this past weekend, and
what is it?
I may be 20,
581.
Yeah, so I'm close to 600 somewhere.
Okay.
Oh, we turn Coach up a little bit. Move your thing closer to your mouth. There we go.
I got him up a little
So
bit there.
581 wins.
That's pretty good.
That's a lot of wins and a lot of games. I lost too, I'm sure. So,
But not nearly as many as you won, though. We know that.
No, that's true.
Right.
That's true. We had some great teams here in Center, and we got a great team this year as well. So I'm looking forward to the season.
And the good thing is, you have a record like that in all the same place there. You have all those young men through the years, that have followed you and, invited your program there, and they're always there, willing to come back and help out, with the guys coming in for every year, too. So that's why you have, like Coach Meeks talked about, building that program and building that thing. And it sounds like that's what's going on here.
Well, that's right. You got Marlon Cloudy over there. He's the principal over at the middle school. He played he didn't play for me, but he coached under me. And Michael Cloudy, he's coaching with me now. And, Alex Cloudy, he was over at Timpson. He played for me, and he's out coaching. And, it's just a lot of branches going out.
Yeah.
And, I'm excited that those guys wanted to follow my lead.
Yeah, that's got to make you feel good as a coach whenever those young men go out and they actually become a coach themselves. That's pretty cool.
You got those guys in Shelby, but, have you done a count of what the Hiram Harrison coaching tree is? Because I know of at least 3 or 4. Besides the Cloudies, obviously – Octavius Evans is head basketball coach in Kirbyville.
Right.
The head coach at Chapel Hill is a former player of yours.
He's a former player. Coach Johnson over there at Chapel Hill played for me. He was a little freshman. I saw him this weekend when we went to White House. And speaking of White House, Brent Kelly played for me when I was in Garrison. There's a guy over in Garrison now named we call him BB. He's coaching in Garrison now, and he played for me. So
Right.
it seems like everywhere I go, I'll see somebody that I've touched.
Awesome, yeah.
That's very good.
And it also makes you feel good whenever you can beat them on the floor too, don't it, Coach?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Absolutely.
It definitely does.
They still got to know I'm the king.
They're the top dog. That's it.
He is. He is.
But I know we're ready to go for this basketball season, so let's jump into it a little bit. I know that we've got a couple games under our belts already, Coach, and this team is a big carryover from a great season last year. Lost a couple of guys so far. So how's the mentality been so far coming in? I saw the running on the videos whenever you had them out there the day after the football season was over, so you got them ready to go. So you got your team ready, and a lot of juniors, a couple seniors, but looks like it's the team that is ready to carry on what we started last year, or carry on from what was last year.
They're ready. They're trying to figure out who's the alpha dog. Marmar's gone and Bobo's gone, so they're trying to figure out who's going to be the guy. And right now, Cash Cross, the quarterback for us this past year, he's stepping up. Timothy Johnson, he said, don't call him T-Baby no more, so I'm sorry. Tim Johnson.
So it's just Tim
led
Johnson
us,
now.
He's led us in scoring the last two games. And, we got Big Jai, the big guy in the middle.
Right.
He had 25 the first game, maybe 15 rebounds and 3 or 4 or 5 blocks. So we just going to be strong all the way around.
All right, so let's start with some basics. So football season ended. We unfortunately lost in the playoffs to Gilmer. Exactly how many hours did the young men have off from
The
football
bus ride home,
before
probably.
before they started basketball practice?
Well, we got back home. It wasn't very late, so we got back home and. I told him I gave him to 10 o'clock the next game. I said 10 o'clock, be ready to go. Normally we start at 8, but I gave him an extra 2 hours.
Right.
Okay, and so when
And about 45 showed up, so they were ready to go.
45 to show up, that's good. I mean, you got a good program underneath. Those young men want to get in there. That's nice. You have that many that show up. That's pretty good.
And so, like we said before, we lost a lot of leadership in Marmar Evans, and we lost a lot of athleticism. I mean, Bobo was kind of the jack of all trades. I mean, he did everything. Played defense.
He was a great defender. When we needed to stop somebody, and when we played, I guess I don't know who that last game was. Booker T. Washington. No one played good against that in that game, but the game before. They had a big time score, and Bobo shut him down.
The Orange School.
Can't remember.
I'll think
Little Cypress.
Little Cypress, Mauriceville.
Yeah. But and so right now, so this year, that's what we're looking for. We got to have somebody that's going to step into that role there that can be that dominant defensive player there. And so, are we staying with some of the height, and we're going to still be good height down in the post?
Well, we got a 6'7" guy just sitting back there waiting for you to kind of get around those guards, and he'll send that thing back up in the bleachers now. And so that we hadn't had that in a while since Corey Garrett. We had a big guy named Corey Garrett years ago,
Corey.
and those guys played good tight defense, and if the guard got around him, he had big Corey sitting back there. We kind of in the same situation. We got Jai back there, and he'll block some shots.
What is his what year of school is he in?
He's a junior.
A junior,
He's
okay.
a junior. So we got a lot of juniors. We'll start 4 juniors and 1 senior, with Cash Cross being the senior.
Okay.
And I think too, maybe Cash, he's going to be probably bringing the ball up here and kind of be the leader out there since he was on the football field. Maybe the guys can still follow his lead through there. Kind of the way it's going to start off. Do you think so far, Coach?
Well, what we're trying to do, we want all those guys to be able to bring the ball down. Tim Johnson, he'll bring it down a lot, and Cash will bring it down. You've got Carson Bush who do well. You got T.J. Bellin. He's getting over an injury, and when he comes back, he'll step into that starting role at the point guard.
Yeah.
So all those guys will bring it down and make us a better team.
Right. And how about a perimeter shooting? I mean, we good on the outside, hitting from an arc. He's still playing them out there. Going to be on three-point shooting stuff going up there.
Well, Cash will knock down some. He knocked down maybe 3. Well, probably 6 3-pointers this past weekend, and T-Baby hit about 4, and Bush is finding his way. I try to get Bush to play football. I said, man, you got to come out there and play so, you can be coached all year and you can be out there with your teammates. But he decided not to play, and that's fine. But when he finds his shot, his shot will be good. And again,
Well, we're talking about these players. They've been on varsity and they have played and
Yeah, they've got the
and
varsity
played
minutes right
substantial time and played a part already. I mean, with Cash and then all three of those players.
all those guys, you know, all those juniors who played for me last year played on varsity, and they know what to expect and they know how to play. And you know, most of them been on varsity since their freshman year. I know Bush and Bellin have for sure, but those other guys just ready to go.
Yeah.
Now, see, you got your starting five there, and we're going to have a couple guys that come off the bench. But who's going to be that go-to six man that we can kind of look at this year that we kind of look out for?
Well, we got Red Edwards, man. He's fast as the hiccups. I don't say how many people going to get by him. He's just coming off an injury, and he was back today, and he made us a whole lot faster. We just Mosley and Tiki Robinson, those guys going to contribute a lot. Just everybody's going to contribute and play, and I'm looking forward to it. Peanut Moore, he plays a lot, and Rogers. Those guys are just going to round out the first team. There's only 10 of us. 10 of those guys is going to play who on the team this year, so everybody's going to get time. We're going to try to press a little bit more and get up and down the floor a little bit more, so those guys are going to have to contribute.
I ran into Munoz at the grocery store, and we ended up, to the chagrin of his wife, we ended up talking football and basketball way too long. But
She's trying to get her shopping done. Y'all are
it was right before Thanksgiving. And of course, we know Munoz knows things, and he was basically saying that everybody's going to play and everybody's going to contribute this year. Like all 10 guys are going to play substantial time.
Well, yeah, like last year was my first year really with you guys calling center basketball, and that's what I really liked. You have a really great rotation coach. Everybody gets in there. You know, somebody's having a little. You pull them off here, hey, get a little timer out there. But you did really good with your rotation out there. And I mean, you got all those guys that come out and contribute all the way through, and that's what makes a great basketball team. And that's what I learned from you last year. I like the way you just get everybody out there, try to keep them as fresh as you possibly can. As long as everybody's contributing, they're going to be out there on the floor.
Well, as fast as we want to play, those guys are going to have to come on the floor and give some significant minutes, and I'm looking forward to it because we want to play fast.
Right.
We got to play fast.
Well, I know we were talking all about it, you know, how play offensively and everything. How's our defense, though? I mean, we got to get back. You got to defend the ball.
Oh, we try to hang our hat on defense. That's what I preach the most.
There
You know,
I figured
I'm
you
like
did.
the defensive coordinator. Munoz is the offensive guy, and we let him call all those plays. And Coach Cloudy comes in and he'll add that stuff. Coach Cloudy played for me years ago. He's like, "Oh, Coach, you let them do that? You wouldn't let us do that, man. Come on." And then you know, he'll bring up some old stuff, and go with it. Tell him. So I just let him kind of run with it.
Make no mistake, Coach Harrison will take the defense getting a charge over a windmill
dunk.
slam dunk
That's
every
right.
All day
time.
long. Hey, I'm with you. You got to play good defense.
I get excited when they take those charges. Those dunks, I'm not too excited about those, but that's for the fans. But when they take a charge, go help him up. Go help him up. So
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely. That's what I love too. You know, because I love smash mouth football, so we gotta love smash mouth basketball.
Yeah.
You
All
gotta
right.
have it.
So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, hear from a couple of sponsors, and we'll be back. We'll have Chris Wallington in my seat, and he can talk about we played a couple games. You're not done yet, Coach. We're going to talk about, I guess we played White House on Saturday, and we got Bullard coming up tomorrow night. Right. So we can talk about, we kind of like to do this. We kind of like to look back and look forward. Yeah. And so we'll do that
some girls
next.
basketball too.
Thought you'd seen the last of the Ford Bronco? Well, you were wrong. Ford brought the Bronco back so they could put the S in SUV. Comfort and connectivity for the highway to get you there, and then the power you need for your off-road adventure. Run at the front of the herd. Saddle up a Bronco at Center Motor Company. What sort of thing do you expect from a good coach like Rick Meeks? To prepare you, to make you ready for the game, to make sure that the good times outnumber the bad times, but that when bad times come, you can weather the storm. What do you expect from a good financial planner? Well, much the same thing, so that your family and you get across the finish line on top of the world. That's why JBA Financial sponsors our Coach Talk with Rick Meeks. JBA Financial and Rough Rider Football.
And it's also JBA Financial and Rough Rider Basketball and Rough Rider Soccer and baseball. If we're talking to a coach, it's brought to you by JBA Financial. We appreciate those guys. A little bit of business to take care of. The Forge restaurant, when we walked into the pizzeria, Danbert was at a birthday party, a 10th birthday party. It was good to see him. And every athletic contest all year long, the Forge is one of the sponsors that brings it along. Just down the square, Shell Mooney at Mooney's Emporium. Christmas shopping time, you ought to talk seriously about going to see Shell at Mooney's Emporium. And there's never a better time than Christmas to talk JBI insurance. It's not really true. But when you need insurance, you need it regardless of the time of year. So we appreciate Joe Bill at JBI. So those guys help bring us all of our productions, including the Rick Meeks Show with special guest Hiram Harrison today. And when we're talking a little bit here at the pizzeria about generally basketball, in this segment, what game did you play most recently?
Saturday we played White House over in White House, and
Just the two of you. It wasn't a tournament.
well, it was a classic.
Okay.
There was some other teams involved. Friday night we played Grace Community out of Tyler, and that was our first game. We didn't score very well the first quarter. I think we scored 9, but after that,
Got moving.
yeah, we got moving. Scored 25 and 28 and 31 points those
Did you-
last 3 quarters.
Did you play at Grace?
We played at White House. White House had a classic
Okay,
there, and
played Grace
a
there.
bunch of teams were playing there.
Did you end up victorious against Grace?
We beat Grace by 24, and then we ended up beating White House by 13, I believe.
Okay, and White House is, I mean, I don't know about their basketball program, but athletic program across the board, pretty good. I mean, Coach, isn't that pretty much true of White House's program? Name it, they're pretty good at it.
For the last 20 to 25 years, they in their boys sports have really come along.
So, congratulations on that.
Well, thank you. The coach over there, he played for me when I was in Garrison, Brent Kelly. He was, he was back. He had left, and he'd been there a couple of years. Then he left, and then he came back. So
Okay.
he was excited to be back, and I was excited to
So
see him and his wife.
You've been around long enough to
Man,
have
I'm
coached coaches that left and came back.
Right. And I've been around long enough. I'm coaching. When I first got here, I'm coaching a player of mine's son.
Yeah.
But he graduated now, so,
Those are called grand players.
grand players.
Yeah.
So I'm coaching grand players now.
Yeah, if you stick around long enough to be a great coach and great grand player.
Great players are next.
Yeah, there are not very many of those guys out there.
I don't know if I can hang around that long.
Well, maybe somebody will have kids soon. Maybe we'll
maybe.
think a good thought. So the White House game was good. That was
White
your
House
second
good,
game,
yeah.
and now you're looking ahead to Bullard.
We'll go to Bullard tomorrow, and we'll get out of school early, and we'll go up there and see what they're about.
And that was a high-ranked playoff team last year.
They were. They lost in the. They lost to go to regionals. Well, they lost in a game before regionals.
The game before you guys, y'all made it one more round, I think, than they did. Is that right?
Well, we played the team that we played Little Cypress, Mauriceville. That's who we played, and they had just beaten Bullard
okay.
the night
So you went
before, so
two-
we played them. So
Two further. My
yeah,
favorite.
they were picked to come out of our region to go to
Right.
to the regional tournament, but they got beat, and we beat the team that beat them.
And that was my favorite Rough Rider game, I think, of the year, was the victory against Little Cypress. That they had players that were scary and had good reputations, and you guys played defense as well as I think you could play, is my memory of it.
Well, we talked about Bobo earlier, and he did a good job on that.
Yeah.
That they had a 6'5" guy who could score, and maybe he scored 4 points or 6
Yeah, that's
points.
right.
I saw him at one point looking over at his coach like
I'm
like
doing
he
what I
couldn't
can do.
move. He
Yeah.
couldn't move. Bobo was right there in him.
That's great.
Yeah.
So it's Bullard. Do they have those guys back?
No, they got graduated, and then he had a brother who would have been he's a junior this year, but his dad left and took a job at Texas at Tyler Legacy, so he took his son over there. So I'm not sure. We have film on him, so we'll look at him a little bit more.
Do you
tonight.
watch much film in December?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We try to get as much film as we can, and we'll watch film all day long. And Coach Munoz does a good job sending that information out to the players. And I saw Jai walking down the hall with his phone, and he's, Coach, look, he's watching film. So, that's a good tool for us to have.
I know that Munoz has kids doing that all the time. They're walking through the halls looking at math videos.
He's a great math teacher. That's right.
He is.
Right.
He
That's
is
right.
that.
He's a great person.
What's it like being the athletic director, and after football, you're just kind of the number one fan. What's that like to be in the stands, and is that something you look forward to? Do you enjoy going to those games? Is it frustrating because you have no say in it and you wish you could?
No, I don't. I don't get worked up like that over it. I love being in the stands and supporting the coaches and the kids, and it's why it's so important to build those relationships with our kids, because we want them participating in as many things as they can, and really and truly 95% of our kids do.
Yes.
And so we get to support them all year long, and so I really enjoy that side of it, and hollering and cheering and being there for the kids and just watching. So.
And I wonder what – you've both been at schools of different size. I'm a lifer. I grew up in Center, and then I ended up working there. And any year I expected to leave, and it's never happened. I've always thought, though, that a school center size is either the perfect school size based on how you view it, or if you view it a different way, the worst possible. I think it's a good one because it's big enough to have lots of options and lots of opportunities, but it's small enough to where you can do a lot of those things.
Right.
Where if you're at Tyler Legacy, you pretty much have to specialize. Whereas we were doing the game at Newton, and one of their better defensive players had a drum solo at halftime. That's just a different world.
Right.
We're a little too big for that. So what do y'all think? Is this about the size school where you can maximize an athletic program that way?
I think so, and and the other part of it too is so many sports help the other sport. And that's why specialization is really not what's best for the athlete. Sometimes, like you said a second ago, athletes are forced into that because of the school that they're at. But that's really not what's best for them in terms of developing and getting bigger, faster, stronger, and skill. And because different sports use different motor skills, and they all work off each other. And so that's why we encourage it like we do. But really and truly, our kids want to. Like we don't have any that look at you and say, "No, Coach, I'm not doing that." I mean, they want to. You really don't even have to tell them to go. They just go to the next sport and keep playing. And so it does two things. One, it allows them to continue to develop, and two, I think it really expands on the team concept, because they just continue to work together and play together and grow together and just work themselves through the school year.
And the theory is, in not just are they better athletes, but they'll be better in the workforce, better in whatever team they're on later if they have more experiences to be on a team.
You can't tell me late in the game if we have a kid up at the free throw line shooting free throws in the fourth quarter in a close game, that he's not going to be better in the batter's box on a full count with runners in scoring position. Like, those things matter. Just being in the different scenarios.
And you and I talked about that a year or two ago. I think in that first interview before the first game, which is kind of a longer interview, you made the statement something like, I want kids from other sports because other sports just teach you how to compete.
Yeah, right. They compete, and also they're coached longer. Like the kids that I coach in football, those are basketball kids, so they know what I expect when basketball season comes.
Relationships
So
are there.
So it's relationship that we're building.
And some vocabulary that you're probably
mentioned-
going to use cross sports.
Right. And I mentioned Carson Bush earlier. I tried to get him out there. I like when those guys get out there and play football with the guys they're going to play basketball with, because they know, hey, this guy's going to go to bat for me. He got my back, and he's going to play hard. And but he just don't want to play. We're not going to make him play or push him. I can't make him play. But by him being out there, he comes up and he'll play hard. But I got to figure him out.
Yeah.
And the other guys got to figure him out.
Right.
But, I like being at a 4A school. I've been at 5As. I've been at 3As, 2As, and they're just a little bit too small for me. I like this size because I know every kid. I was at a 5A school. At the end of the school year, there were kids I didn't know.
Yeah.
I've never seen that kid before. Here it is, May, and that kid, I've never seen that
Looking
kid.
at their name tag or whatever, their ID.
But I like 4As. I like center.
I always have to, and I'm sure there's arguments against it. But see that you don't get that when we're in the middle of a season and we got to get ready to talk about Rusk and oh my gosh, what are we going to do with Chapel Hill or ever what? This is why we have the Rick Meeks show and the Hiram Harrison show in December. So we'll continue this. We have one more segment. You come back, but I hope you're enjoying the Rick Meeks Hiram Harrison show live from the Pizzeria. Thank you, Sabine State Bank.
At Sabine State Bank, you have a lot of things going for you. It's a small office, so everybody. So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the Pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the Pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the Pizzeria just off the square in Center. Live from the Pizzeria, you're watching the Coach Rick Meeks Show, brought to you by Sabine State Bank.
All right, folks, welcome back. This is the final segment of the show. Of course, it's the Rick Meeks Show is brought to you by Sabine State Bank, but it's hosted here at the Pizzeria. And every week we get our pizzas. Now, of course, we always have for Coach Meeks. You made me a believer. It's the extra crispy, extra pepperoni pizza.
Telling you,
it is. I mean, I've always really liked pepperoni, but I mean, there's just something about that one that's even better.
hey,
I mean,
I've tried to tell you.
I know. I believe you. I believe you.
It's the pepperoni deluxe.
So, Coach,
Pepperoni deluxe.
what is your favorite kind of pizza?
I'm a pepperoni guy as well.
Is it maybe that's a coach's thing? I don't know. But anyway, so have you had a piece?
I've had a piece, yes. It's wonderful. It was great.
It's the best pizza made at Pizzeria. Yeah. Anyway, so we'll just next week. You just want a pepperoni because we'll get you whatever you want. I mean, they got all kinds of stuff here. They got buffalo chicken. They got.
I like chicken, but yeah, pizza and wings and a salad's my go-to meal.
There you go. Well, Coach, how was it? How was your first?
Man, it was nervous. I was nervous. It was nerve-wracking. But you guys asked some good questions and made me think about a lot of things. But, I'm excited about the season starting.
Yes.
I think we should get back to regionals. Hopefully we can get out of region. But we just got to continue to play and kind of stay healthy and go from there.
Well, it's kind of interesting, as we do each of the sports, they covering each of them has a different feel. It's like a different kid. It's hard to say which one because football is football. We love football, but we love the basketball. It has that special because the pace, because the fans are right there. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're just right there, and it's so fast, and it's just awesome. Yes, and then we got Larry. Come on, Ralph Pierce. We had a guy a long time ago. His name was Gene Fields. He was a radio guy here, and he would do the basketball games. He had a son that was my age that I grew up with, but he would just lose his marbles during the basketball games. I mean, I think he got a couple of texts.
Oh, wow.
For the radio guy. Yes, wow. He was unbelievable.
That there is why we have an official shortage.
Yeah.
This was back in the 80s. But anyway, Coach, thank you for joining us. We look forward to having you in as often as you can make it down for the show, because we're always going to be able to talk about what's going on and and where we're headed and what we've done well and all those sorts of things. It's kind of an extended time. We catch you before and after the games, but it's kind of a rush. So this is where we can really talk about things and let the fans know what's going on.
Well, I appreciate it too.
Yeah.
Thanks
So
for inviting me.
right, and then we have our editor-in-chief,
Right here.
Coach Rick Meeks. What are your final thoughts tonight, Coach?
Well, I wanted to make sure I told you tonight, Roll Tide.
Oh yeah.
So, I just wanted to make sure you saw the ending of the Iron Bowl.
I did. 4th down and 30.
That's right.
That's impressive.
Game's not ever over.
It's never over. But it's what you tell the young men, right?
right.
It's never over until that horn goes off.
That is correct. That's why you always play the next play.
That's what I was telling a couple of teachers today. They going for Georgia. I'm like, that ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Alabama. I'm an Alabama guy too, but I want them to win.
Yeah.
I love Nick Saban.
Well, I'm really kind of. I really don't have a team that I follow very much
Yeah, it
in
doesn't look
college.
like it.
No.
Doesn't look like it.
What? Jayhawk? Oh, that's true.
Basketball?
Yeah, basketball.
So we got a little bit of everything around here. Anyway, what's that? Yeah. So the young men play in Bullard. What time is that game?
We play 4:30 for the freshmen, and the JV will play after that. I think I have that backwards. JV will play first, 4:30, and freshmen play at 6, and we'll play 7:15.
7:15, and then the ladies are here in center
Against Pine Tree.
against
Right.
Pine Tree. Do you know what time that
Starts
game
at
is?
5.
Starts at 5. The varsity starts at 5. Freshman starts at 5, and so will there be 2 games?
And then JV will follow, and then varsity.
Okay, so 3 games there too. So we're looking 7:15 start for them as well.
Yes, sir.
All right, folks. Well, thank you for tuning in. We look forward to doing the Rick Meeks Show with Hiram Harrison each week during basketball season as we roll along. I do feel like we're going to have a great season. I feel like we have. I can't wait to see. Obviously see Cash do his thing. We know what we're going to get from him. It's going to be full effort and just gritty performance throughout. But we have all the guys.
All
but it's
of
not
them, all of
T-Baby anymore.
No,
It's
don't
just
call him T-Baby.
No, don't do that.
Tim Johnson.
Tim Johnson.
That's it.
And then we got a big guy. So we got the recipe for a very successful basketball season, and we're looking forward to it. So for Chris Wallington, Larry, come on, Ref Pierce, Triple S, Scarlett Shires, running the scoreboard, producing the show,
There you go.
Coach Rick Meeks, Coach Hiram Harrison, and his entire entourage. We'll say see y'all soon.
I want to say happy birthday to Malcolm yesterday.
Oh
Yes,
yes,
sir, Malcolm.
Malcolm,
Happy
happy
birthday.
birthday, Malcolm. Man, he's growing.
Evans' three-point shot. It's good. Red Horse takes it to the house.
This has been a presentation of the Rough Rider Broadcast Team, brought to you by Watlington and Shires Productions.